The Detroit Lions are just 9 days away from the preseason opener against the New York Giants, and we cannot wait. It cannot come any faster. And wide receiver Jameson Williams will be suspended for the first 6 games after the preseason is over. So he gets to play and practice during the preseason. He has to be away from the team the first 3 games. He can then apply for reinstatement after that to come and be in the facility for the next 3 games or for the next 3 weeks. And then he is expected to be fully reinstated come week 7 of the 2023 NFL season. And the first thing I got to say is shout out to the guy in the comment section, the commenter. When I said that Jameson Williams, we probably wouldn't see him during the preseason, he said that we probably would. And it looks like you were correct. Now, my initial thoughts is that there's no way that Jameson Williams is going to get a ton of practice in the preseason. And I only base that off of the fact of not only did the starters only play 1 drive in 2022, Brad Holmes is real touchy with Jameson Williams. Like he's like, it's almost like he wants to keep him in a bubble. Like you remember that movie Bubble Boy? It's almost like he wants to do that. So seeing as how he put so many chips on the table drafting Jameson Williams, they said he knew it wasn't for this year, that there was no way you're going to risk a potential season-ending injury or anything like that. Now, on the flip side of that, if Jameson did get hurt during the preseason, he would have 6 weeks to heal. And maybe that's the logic that Brad is possibly using. If it's anything but a season-ending injury or something super severe that would take more than 6 weeks to heal, then he could come back before the game, the season actually started. But then you have the fact of, let's say it was a mild injury. You're out for an ankle sprain. You're probably going to miss 2 to 4 weeks. Then you got to come back and practice and all that stuff, right? So I just didn't think that we were going to see Jameson Williams at all in the preseason. Maybe 1 drive and that was it. And then all the starters would sit and it would be dudes fighting for roster spots after that. But according to Dan Campbell in his press conference this morning, Jameson Williams will probably see quite a bit of preseason. But here's what Dan Campbell had to say during his press conference about Jameson Williams and his drop troubles. Says, this is coming from Eric Woodyard's Twitter. Lions coach Dan Campbell says Jameson Williams has work to do on his hand mechanics. He's just got to grind on it, he said. It'll never be probably like one of these elite pass catchers that you've seen, but it'll be just fine with his speed and what he's able to do. So basically he's saying, look, Jameson Williams won't have hands. Like he won't be able to elite hands. He might just have decent hands, but his speed and his other ability will help make up for that. We see that. We see flashes of, and I told you all a long time ago, like he got to catch the ball with his hands. The way that he catches the ball, he needs to, catch it with his hands, and he definitely could work on his hand mechanics. So we could see that. Now, I wonder if Jameson Williams is like, wait a minute, coach is saying I'm not going to be elite with my hands, so maybe that'll help him. Dan Campbell, he knows what he's doing, so maybe he put some little fire in him, because we've been hearing that Jameson Williams hears what we have to say. He hears what the media has to say, and according to his dad, he is going to take all that and use it as fuel and come out here and be a beast this season. Now, it's early, really early to call Jameson Williams a bust, so I would refrain from doing that because I don't think that he's a bust at all. I think we have to give plenty of time. We could call Jeff Okudah a bust. He is a certified bust, okay? But Jameson Williams, we got to give him some time. Let him get a full season and see what he can do then. But when it comes to preseason, here's what Dan Campbell had to say. Again, coming from Eric Woodyard's Twitter. Dan Campbell says, and this was done during the press conference this morning, Jameson Williams will be doused with a ton of game reps in preseason. He needs that, as he does practice, he said. Campbell sees him growing with more consistent reps. I do believe he wants it. He said, I do believe he wants to get better. Now, when you hear the word a ton, what are we thinking? Again, the starters played 1 drive against the Atlanta Falcons. I was at that game in the preseason. Jared Goff, all the starters played, and we scored, and that's how I knew our offense was going to be. I mean, we scored on them with ease. It was not an issue at all. And then you never saw him again. St. Brown, Swift, you never saw any of them again. What does that mean? Jameson Williams is expected to be a starter for the 2023 NFL season. after 6 games, of course. So what does that mean as far as he going to be playing with the second team? How much of Jameson Williams are we going to see? Are we going to see him every game? Are we going to see him a ton one game? Or this is going, I'm very curious to know, because it's risk versus reward, right? So you're taking a risk that he could be injured. He talked about it today. The injury to Shane Zylstra was preventable. They've talked to Khalil and they both feel he feels horrible. So how much do you risk with Jameson Williams? So I'm going to leave it to you in the comment section. Dan Campbell says that he'll get a ton of preseason reps. This is a 2-part question. How much do you think that is? And how much would you want to see Jameson Williams play during the preseason? I don't believe that the preseason is meaningless. I hate to hear meaningless football. Jameson Williams is trying to practice and get better. It is a chance for these guys to shake the rust off, get better. And for, I would say, 70% of the players that play during the preseason, they are trying to make a team. So it's definitely not meaningless at all. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Dan Campbell's words on Jameson Williams. How much do you think he'll play during the preseason? And I'm looking forward to hear that. Don't forget about the live stream watch party during week 2 at Uno's Pizzeria in Farmington Hills. Hopefully on one of these videos, I will have a QR code that will be sitting probably in this corner here, right there. From now on, I have to work on that. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.